Alright y'all, join me as I put in this wall mounted power rack today. So first things first, what I'm doing here is putting my center line in the middle of each 2x8. This is going to be the guideline for where I put all of my pilot holes in to anchor into the wall. You see me looking back here as I realized and think to myself, what did I just get into? So now we're drilling each pilot hole. This is going to be where I anchor my post to the wall. I'm going to be using the Hilti PM50 multi-line laser today. The second power tool I'm using today is the Hilti SID6 impact drill. This drill has all the power you need to go through wood or even concrete masonry like we're doing here. So I've drilled my holes through the wood, and now I've drilled my holes through the concrete masonry as well. I'm using a 3/8 masonry bit to go through the wood and the masonry. And then I'm using Tapcons, 1/2-inch Tapcons, to go through the wood and then anchor into the concrete masonry. I went ahead and painted each 2x8 and the red rack that I had. I painted them all black. I needed the boards to dry properly before I started anchoring it to the wall. For the rack, I used a self-etching primer. This allowed me to paint it properly and the paint to stick to it. You can see the line starting to move here on its own. One thing the PM50 allows you to do is this knob that allows you to turn that line left or right, so you don't actually have to move the laser. You can just move the line. This button also allows you to toggle on the 3 different lines that you can use. Some other tools you may need for this. Even though you have the line laser, I still like to get a leveler just to make sure everything's like it's supposed to be. Obviously a shot vac to vacuum up all the dust you're gonna have from the wood and the concrete masonry. I also had 2 different socket sets. I had my normal socket set, and then I had a longer socket set to be able to get the nuts on the different bolts that I'm screwing in. So I've anchored my boards to the concrete masonry. I've also anchored my legs of the rack onto that board. Now I'm putting the post. I'm attaching these posts now to the legs. Something I didn't mention before. I'm using my Hilti SID6 to screw in these bolts instead of using the ratchet set and another plier to hold on. I just use my SID6. Some people say, oh, you can't use a drill for that. You gotta use whatever. That's what I used. And it works for me. Now, to be able to use a ratchet set with an impact drill, you're gonna have a 3/4 chuck adapter to go into your impact drill. You can see that I put in the top 2x8 as well now. Measuring from hole to hole, you can either use a leveler or a ruler, like I did on one of them. Then you go 16 inches from center, because that's where the studs are gonna be. Or you can use the line laser like I did. We're coming down the home stretch now, and I'm attaching the top arm to the top of that post. After I attach those 2, I'm gonna now anchor it to the wall. Once we finish up this side, we've got one more side to do, and then we'll be all done. Test out the strength with some pull-ups, and we're good to go. Thanks for watching, guys. Follow for more fitness content.